Well, welcome back, guys. The last few weeks have been pretty crazy around here. As I mentioned, I turned 50 and had an amazing vacation and party, which I will share with you at the end of this video if you're interested. I have my sawmill set up here next to my shop because this weekend a wildfire broke out at Milo MacGyver State Park, which is about 6 miles from me, and we were this close to needing to evacuate. So I pulled my mill out of the sawmill shed where it's a well, let's just say it's highly flammable up there, and brought it down here next to the shop in case we needed to take off in a hurry. But that's been dealt with. The fire's been surrounded, and I think we're on the downhill side of it. But today I am talking about resawing. What I have here is 15 stair treads that are about 48 inches wide, 11.5 across, and exactly 3 inches thick. The problem is they need to be 1.5 inches thick. Apparently the plans for the metal fabricators who built the framework for these stairs showed 1.5 inch thick tread, while the architectural drawings called for a 3-inch thick tread. So now that the steel is built, these aren't going to work. They've asked me to mill these in half so that the top of the tread is exactly 1.5 inches thick. I think with a brand new blade I can cut through and not have to plane the underside. The underside isn't going to be visible, so I think that I can just make one cut on each of these and make some pretty serious money. Now, you might be wondering why I've set this piece of wood up the way I have, where the clamp isn't centered on it. That is because in cutting my test piece yesterday, I discovered that the rail that the saw head rides on has a very slight bend in it, and it causes the saw head to just slightly raise right in the middle. I'm going to have to address that later, but I have to have these pieces cut for tomorrow morning, so if I set this piece up right here, I know I'm going to get a perfectly straight cut. I'm not sure how my rail got bent. You can just barely see it if you eyeball down the rail, but it's something I'm going to have to address moving forward. Well, that came out pretty good. 14 more to go. Laminated some ugly wood together there, but I guess it was working. You can see just cut between the glue layer here just perfectly 1.5 inches. That's how you know your saw is cutting well. These treads have all been numbered, and they asked me to transfer the numbers after I cut them. Well, there it is. 16 cuts, $600. I put 3/10 of an hour on my sawmill. My blade is still in good shape. Not to mention, I get the other half of all these cutoffs. So that is a lot of oak and a great way to spend an hour on a Sunday. Now, a couple of years ago, I made a video explaining about how I paid for my sawmill, and it was all sawing reclaimed lumber. To this day, I have made far more on sawing reclaimed lumber than I have sawing logs. If you're thinking about getting into milling and you can get hooked up, or you have some contacts with construction companies or contractors, there is big money in resawing. I literally paid for this mill in 6 months about 5 years ago when we tore down a building and we salvaged a bunch of glue lambs out of that building. And I just happened to have a sample that I had cut because I was going to build some mirrors and hair stations for a salon other than my wife's. And the president of the construction company just happened to see that sample sitting on the seat of my pickup and asked me about it. And that gave him an idea, and I ended up sawing every bit of those glue lambs that were 4 feet tall, 8 inches wide, I think originally about 120 feet long. But I sawed every bit of those that went back into the new apartment that they were building, which kind of left a little bit of history of the old building in the new one. And I did that on several projects for them. And while it's not always as exciting as opening up a log and seeing what's inside, it definitely pays the bills. I'll post a link down below to some of those videos where I was resawing wood and making big bucks. I know it's a long wait for a mill right now, and they seem like a lot of money, but man, they are a valuable tool. Well guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching and hanging with me through the downtime. The next 6 weeks are going to be pretty hectic around here. I got talked into coming out of retirement for a total of 7 weeks. I've already spent 1 week pulling levers and moving dirt. My former employer has 100,000 yards of dirt to move, and it sounded like a lot of fun for a little bit. So I'm going to finish out the summer doing that, and in the meantime I'm going to be working in my shop. Got lots more milling to do. I need to get that second floor finished, so stick around and I will get videos up just as soon as I can. If you're interested in my birthday situation, check it out here.
Oh, we some. Oh, there you go. There you go. Surprise!
What is going on? You did this on purpose? Thank you, Bill. Yeah. What the heck is going on? TV personnel?
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
Wow.
Decided to go for a drive today.
Wow. 50. Thanks.
That's what I would just tell him. Like,
He's got my old truck, right? I hope you kept the receipt. I'm not a large. You need extra large?
Well, I thought those go together.
Now,
So-
this is fit.
Well, that's together, so you can drink those.
So I don't
and
even
wear
have to go to the
those.
bathroom.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No, you don't have to get out of bed, is what he's saying. Or when you're editing those videos, Jason, you can just continue sitting at your desk. You don't have to get up. He's 50 today.